Welcome to KIllco. My name is Brian, and good afternoon, Mike. So as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh man, the countdown has begun. I don't know if I can type fast enough. So hello, welcome, and thank you for being here. It's always nice to have people in the chat beforehand. It doesn't happen very often, but when it does, I panic. Today, on the Drinkstream, we're going to drink scotches because I find I tend to default to bourbons very often. And I have this little box, oh gosh, that I wanted to finally empty. Shelters, welcome. You guys scare me with your fireball and your cheap beer. Scary. But I'm glad you're here. Welcome. Have you had some of this? Highland single malt Scotch whiskey. This was a 4-pack, but I finished off one of them a while ago. Borndar, welcome. Welcome. I have to click on all the things. I always forget. It is just a chill Friday. I always feel like since I'm a YouTube channel, or this is a YouTube channel, we are a YouTube channel. I don't know what words to use there. I always feel like I have to do something. Really, I just want to sit here and drink and chit chat. That's the main idea of my drink stream. But I always feel like I should have something to do in general. But for this one, I had realized I am defaulting to bourbons very often. So I wanted to try some scotch. I got my scotch shirt on from Aquavite. So, and I needed to finish off this box. Like this had 4. I was talking about 4. Where did I put the bottle? Where's everything? What am I doing? Oh gosh, I lost it. I could just read the back. That would be the sensible thing to do. La Santa is the one I don't have. And funny enough, that's a sherry cask finish. I was about to say all of these are 12 years old. They are not. There's the 10-year-old. These are what's left. The 10-year-old, the Quinta Rubin port cask finish 12 year, and the Nectador Dior Sauterne cask finish, also 12 years old. Lovely stuff. Co-op, welcome. Don't worry, autocorrect doesn't like words that it doesn't think exist until I make them, or someone makes them. But yeah, I'm going to be sipping on these tonight. Kind of comparison stuff. This one is the Glenmorangie Original, 10-year, 43%. And the other two, surprisingly, are 46%. Then again, they're 12 years. I don't know which order I want to do these. I feel like I should do the Nectador first. I don't know why. That's the initial feeling I get. And then the Quinta Rubin port cask finish. So I have a port wine, I'm assuming. Again, I didn't look anything up. And this one is, what is it, Sauterne? Some weird word name. Tell me things, bottle. I know it's easier to look in the box, but yeah, Sauterne. So we have the original, port cask finish, and Sauterne cask finish. I guess they'll do them in that order. That's the way the box has it laid out if I'm reading it left to right. So let me know what's in your glass. That's very important because, again, you don't want to drink alone. You can. It's not as much fun. I swear, the wheels on this chair and the creakiness, I don't approve. I have to fix that. One of them feels like it's stuck. So I can't glide around as I want to. Yeah, Glenmorangie 10 is the first I'm going to have. And like I said, the other two were 46. I don't even remember when I drank the sherry one, the Santa. I just know I liked it. Ooh. So here we go. Number one. Oh, my anxiety's high today. That's fun. That's usually a tell. If your hands are shaking uncontrollably, there's something wrong. Just so we're clear. I have to take extra amount of energy to keep that from doing that. And sometimes it doesn't work. Oftentimes it doesn't work. Quinta Rubin. Typing is hard. Words are hard. Oh gosh, I forgot I'm supposed to do small pours. Oh well. I have a feeling I'm going to mix these all together at the end because that's fun. And honestly, I really do want to finish these, but they're freaking... There's at least 3 ounces in each of these. And finishing all of those off at once tonight would be a bad idea. I would feel pretty crap tomorrow. Unless I do it real slow. Real slow. Oh, it's fine. It's Friday, as they say. Lemonade works. Oh, let me put a disclaimer for next Friday/Sunday. Not this upcoming Sunday, but next week. Friday is going to be the start of Dry Week in the Whiskey Tribe. And I always do it. I've been doing it since they started, which is probably 2 or 3 years ago. Oh, I don't remember. But anyway, I will be doing something else. I'll probably be singing, possibly PC gaming if I can figure that out. I've done it on Twitch, but I have to do it on here because there's actually an audience here and people to talk with. Unlike on Twitch, where you're kind of in the, what's the word? The tree in the forest? I think that's the way to put it. It's always hard to get people to switch platforms. I mean, YouTube's fairly easy to figure out. It just requires me to do something slightly different. So we'll see. Next Friday is going to be different in some way, shape, or form, as is next Sunday. But I'll worry about that later. Just a heads up. I don't want people coming in here being like, Drinkstream! And it's like, wait, he's just singing or playing games. I don't understand. Something's wrong. Whoa! I just thought of peppermint for that. That was weird. That was odd. Unexpected. And there's a funk. I always get a funk on scotches. Or it seems like I always do. I don't always get some funk. What is this science over here? Oh my gosh. That must be fun, Barn Door. I don't know what my typing is. It just... we have to remember that we're in an age where technology is correcting us, and that's a little disturbing sometimes. It's understandable, but it's one of those little moments. Your computer is correcting you. You want it to, but sometimes you don't. Sometimes it doesn't know what it's doing. Multi-funk. That's what I've heard. I always was trying to figure out if it was like a sherry thing, but considering I finished off their, I can't remember things, Lasanta early, like I drank the whole thing. I think I must have done a review of it or something. I don't remember. There is a review video. I'm going to pretend that I'm going to pick it up there and hopefully remember that I said that 8 minutes in. And I think I did it 2 years ago. It was like 20 minutes long. That was the problem. I actually did a video on all 4 of these and edited it together and everything. But it was really long. And a lot of people probably don't like watching long whiskey reviews. I don't. I like maybe 10 to 15 minutes. I'm good. But yeah. First one is malt funky, we'll say. It does have fruit notes. This is such a... The fun thing with whiskey for me is once I started getting into how many different types there were and realizing that it's all the same thing, but they're all very different. One of the fun things I like to do occasionally, I've done it only once on the stream, is to have a lineup of 4 completely different whiskeys. I think I did, what was it? It was bourbon, Scotch, Japanese, and Irish is what I've done before. And that's one of the things where it's just, what? How are these all whiskey yet they're all completely different things? Oh, nice. It's a good one. I mean, it doesn't put me off as much as some of the other ones I've had. Like, if I had started in scotches with, let's see, what do we got here? Macallan 12 and Dalmore, I probably would not have been interested. Because if you were here for the stream I did, oh wow, 2 weeks ago? I can't keep track of anything, to be clear. So a while ago, possibly last year, I'm not even sure, I did a video about I Don't Like That. And I had a number of scotches that I have purchased and I have full bottles of, and I don't like at all. So it's going to be difficult to finish those off. Those are things I probably can give away. Honestly, if anyone wants to try Dalmore Macallan, I'll have to figure out some way to do that, but I don't like them. I don't like those bottles specifically. Keep that in mind. Oh, I didn't do the thing. I'm supposed to cap these now, aren't I? Oops. You can tell I seriously prepared for this. No, I didn't. I kind of did. I have the glasses. All right, so Glenmorangie 10 has a typical funk, malt funk, we're calling it, as Co-op Whiskey said. There is a sweetness to it. I almost want to say vanilla, but that I always default vanilla, brown sugar, and Whoozy What's It. There's another one that always come up in bourbon. So whenever I say vanilla on a Scotch, I feel a little weird. But there are fruit notes, kind of sweet notes, vanilla notes. That kind of apple thing too, which I kind of like. Freaks me out. Yeah. I've heard that, Co-op. I've never tried the cigar malt, but I've heard good things about it. But then again, I heard good things about the concept of Dalmore and Macallan being superb and expensive whiskeys and scotches for the fancy, I guess. But I'm not fancy with scotches, it seems. Bah. I've heard you're supposed to do that. I didn't do that. I didn't want to clean that up. Taboo. Oh, that's interesting. I don't know why it'd be taboo. I mean, there's what's it? Why can't I remember names? To be clear, if I meet you in person and I don't remember your name, it's not. Don't feel bad. I can't remember what I did yesterday. I was trying to think what I did Wednesday, and I was like, I don't remember. A few days ago, I don't remember, but doing something stupid 2 years ago, oh, I'll remember that. I'll definitely remember that. What's his name? The Macallan guy. Or the Dalmore. Wasn't there a Dalmore guy? He's the Dalmore guy. They don't know the Dalmore guy. Words. I want to say like Charlie something, but that can't be right. Richard Patterson. That's right. I don't think he's actually the ambassador or whatever they call him anymore. I think he retired. He's still doing something, though. He's still throwing whiskey on the floor, I'm sure. But that's why I was so disappointed, I think, was I saw him. What's his name? I can't remember now. He said Patterson. That feels right. I don't know. Words. Yeah. Richard Patterson. Master Blender. I think that's what it was. I saw his videos, and he's very, what's the word? Theatrical. He's very theatrical with his whiskey tastings. So, you know, throwing the whiskey on the floor. I think he liked to pop balloons behind people to scare them after you take a sip of whiskey. But yeah, I saw his videos on YouTube. I liked what he was doing, and then I bought the Dalmore 12 thinking it was going to be amazing, and then it's just not my thing, not my jam. I wish it was because I have a whole bottle of it, but it isn't. And I'm also finding I don't lean towards scotches that often. Part of why I'm doing this tonight is because I've had these little sample flasks or sample bottles. They're a funny size, so. But I've had them for quite a while. Whoa. This is the, oh gosh, I hope I remember. This is the, let's go, Quinta Rubin that I'm smelling now. I mean, theatrical is kind of saying that in a nicer way, I guess. But yes, he can be a little over the top. But again, I don't know the guy, so I have no idea what he's actually like. One thing I try not to do is since I'm doing YouTube stuff and with certain things in the news and the media lately, I have to keep in mind that people who are filmed are often portraying things in a certain way to be socially acceptable. And that's probably not what they're always like in person. So I don't want to hate on anyone if I don't really know them. I can disagree with them probably if they filmed something I don't like, or if there's something we don't have in common. Well, not have in common. How do I put this? A difference of opinion is the nicest way I can say it. But yeah, I tried very hard not to hate on anyone because I'm certain I do it very easily. It's a part of my conditioning, I guess. Part of my mental problems is that I'm very hard on myself, and I'm even more critical and angsty and irritable with other people. So it's one of those little things I have to keep a tight leash on. Just like, no, behave yourself. Don't be a jerk. Don't go off on anyone, please. That's what I've heard, Barndor. Words. I can't speak. This is one of the few times I've actually said anything today. It's one of those terrible realizations that living in the 2020s, I suppose we'll say, 2021 at this point. But pandemic and stuff. I did go out today. I did do stuff. But I said a very minimal amount of things to people. So there's that. Now I'm smelling Garrison Brothers, or not Garrison Brothers. It's the third. Woo! The third one. I'm just smelling these at random. I'm not going into too much detail. The Nectar d'Or. I can't remember that. They all have a similar funk, so they're all the same thing, certainly. But there is, to me, there's a noticeable smell difference. Exactly what that is the hardest part to figure out. Like the first one had these apple notes that I liked. The second one, or the, I keep having to look because I can't remember anything. Quinta Rubin. I got like a note I didn't like, or at least I officially shouldn't like, which it smelled like, I don't want to call it decay because that's not what it is. Very ripe fruit, I suppose. I don't know why. It's not as present now. It's probably the, I keep having to remind myself, these are finished in wines. You should probably get some kind of wine smell. And I'm going, yes, fruit of some sort, or ripeness, and could be a port smell for all I know, but what kind of port wine they use? I have little experience with wines. I have some experience with wines, but not enough to be able to pick it out of a glass of scotch. Certainly not. Well, part of me wants to go Barn d'Or. I don't know why. Just my brain. Oh, Wanderer, yes. I'm not exactly sure where you are. Is it snowing again? It snowed up here recently. I hope it doesn't snow again. And Anthony, welcome. I am sipping on a variety of Glenmorangie. Glens. We have the 10-year, the original. The other two are 12 years, and they are a Quinta Rubin, which is a port cask finish, and a Nectar d'Or, which I think is Sauterne. They would use the fancy font that I can't read for that one. Words. Yeah, Sauterne cask finished. So two of them are finished in different wines, and one of them is just the original. And I'm just trying to enjoy them to the best of my ability at the moment. So far, I've gotten through the first two. Oh, you're way over there. Okay. Yeah, that'll be over here in like a day or two, I'm sure. Can't wait. We need so much more snow. This is one of the few years in recent memory that we've gotten much more snow than I remember. But thankfully, it's doing it in kind of small doses, at least for my area. So we get, 3 or 4 inches maybe. And then there's a few days where it melts a little, and then we get more snow. That's how it's been so far. But not, feet of snow per snow, because that'd be a little more difficult to deal with. Also, I haven't lost power at all, which is good. Ugh. can do a quick comparison with the first and the second one. Unsurprisingly, the first one smells lighter now. This one seems to be a little more, I don't know if I want to say floral. Kind of do. But I'm convincing myself I'm smelling wine in there. I know it is a wine finish, but just throw the coins around. But I certainly couldn't pick out port just because I know there's port in there, or it was a port finish. I also keep wondering how influenced I am by just the packaging. They're all very fruity. The first one not so much as the other two, because I mean, wine finish, so certainly there's some fruit notes, grape notes even, wine notes. Well, this one kind of smells like flowers to me, and I'm convinced that I'm being influenced by it because it's called Nectador or Nectador. It's got a little comma, which for whatever reason makes, nectar makes me think of honey. So I keep thinking I'm getting a honey smell out of here. And again, the packaging is pretty important for selling and influencing a person. With this one, they have the black, so it's, port, a very dark wine, I think. And then they have this other one, Sauternes, which I don't. This is those moments where I feel like if Eric Waite was here, he'd be able to tell me a little more about these, because he does both whiskey and wine fairly well, is my understanding. But I feel like I should have looked these up. I can look them up now. That's what I like to do. It makes more sense. Do it in the moment because I'm going to forget later. Oh, there you go. Problem solved. I have heard that area is a lot for rain. I think it's rain and salmon, and I think there's some kind of tower that has like a saucer on it. I forget what it's called. Oh, you know what I didn't do? God dang it. I forgot something. I will be back in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail, whatever that means. I don't know if that was 2 shakes of lamb's tail. I'm going to assume it was. Where's my water? One of those things I'm supposed to have on hand immediately, but I didn't. Yeah, this one's mostly funk. The first Glen Orangey is all funky malt. The Space Needle, yes. I don't think I've ever been to Washington. I know where it is, but I don't think I've ever been to the West Coast. I'm gonna fix that someday. Not any day soon, I feel, but someday, maybe. Sorry, I think I just blew into the mic. This one definitely has. This one's boggling my mind a little because of this weird kind of ripe fruit note, which I can only assume is the port finish. I wish I could say more about it, but it's just bugging me. It's like, yeah. I can almost picture it. Like, it feels like something I've been around, like a fruit bowl or something where it's just a little, you walk past and you're like, oh, I think that pear is ripe enough to eat now. Maybe it is pear. That could be a thing. I said pear kind of offhand, but could be my subconscious brain parts being like, guess what? It's pear. And then I'm thinking to myself, I don't remember the last time. Have I ever eaten a pear? I have no idea. I feel like I've tried it once, maybe. I don't remember. Should eat more fruit. Fruits and vegetables are important. So I hear. This one does have a honey sweetness to it. And this is the Nectador. I switched. I feel like I should put a dot or something on these so that I don't actually have to announce what they are every time I pick them up. But then I get this sticky tape stuff all over my glasses, and that'd be really annoying. Oh, there's got to be a way to do it. To let the person who's watching know what I'm picking up. There's a sugary sweetness to this, to the smell of it. I could just sit with these smelling them for so long, but I don't think that's very entertaining for most people. Maybe it is. I mean, maybe I'll just do a video where I sit there and don't say anything, just smell and sip whiskey, getting lost in my mind. I feel like that's been done, but I don't know by who. Let's start the drinking, shall we? It's almost been half an hour they've been sitting here. So I've been smelling them and chit-chatting. This one's definitely funk. Now it's got this. It's got something else going on with it now. And I don't know if it's because it's been sitting here, covered, or what. The joy of having whiskeys is that they can change in the glass. Ugh. I'm being bothered by the fact that these aren't even. But this is going to be my whiskey for the night. It's going to last me at least till, what, 6 hours? 5 hours? 4 more hours at least once we're all done here. We'll see. There's a rainforest over there? What? I know I shouldn't be pouring more of this, but I'm going to anyway. Because they're uneven. Close enough. There's pretty much one more pour for each of these. Maybe I'll have that tomorrow. Maybe I'll just mix them all together. See what happens. I don't know. Must drink now. Also getting distracted. What we got here? Oh, that doesn't sound good. I can picture the texture in my mind, which is probably not a good thing. Let's not think about that for the moment. Let's think about the whiskey in the glass at the moment. And again, I have yet to have a good pear. I think I've been exposed to pretty much fake pear flavors. Like I can think of a pear Jolly Rancher. I don't even know why. That's the first thing that came to mind. Not an actual pear, just what a pear Jolly Rancher tastes like. Ah, that's good. Ow. The joys of my life right there. Having that wonderful burning sensation going down. But, to be clear, drinking whiskey out of these glasses in this manner is so much less painful than taking shots. I haven't really taken a shot of anything in a long time. But, yeah, I seem to remember the pain of taking a shot would almost just stop a person cold in their tracks. This just burns. That's okay. On the way down, that is. The taste is okay. It does, it is making me think of malty, like strict malt flavor. Almost like one of those, what they call Whoppers, without the chocolate. If you just had like the inside of it. Kind of sweet like that. I know those are malt balls, so. And I'm assuming this is made of malt. That's the other thing. While we're sipping these, let's go over the info, since we're at the 30-minute mark. I feel like I should have some kind of regularity to this. I don't, but I should. And again, I have reviewed these before, but again, when I'm not sure. Sweet sand. That sounds delightful. Sweet sand. I don't. That hurts my head. All right, as usual, for my videos, if you watch any of my videos, I have a link below, link to the webpage / app I use to get a little more idea of what's going on here. Unsurprisingly, some of the notes I said are actually in here. The nose profile for the community here. Oh wait, first average price paid for the Glenmorangie 10 is $40-ish. Specifically, it says $39.62. That feels a bit weird to say, so we'll say $40. The nose profile is fresh fruit, apple, citric, orange, honey, and vanilla. I think I said honey, vanilla, and apple. I didn't say fresh fruit. It doesn't say malt. It's one of the things that bothers me when I do this. I always, as Co-op said, there is a certain funk I got out of scotches initially, but it certainly fades a bit once you've been smelling it for a while. Still there, but it's less apparent, I guess, is what I'll say. Flavor for community notes here. Pretty simple. I didn't say anything about the flavor because it is pretty simple. But on this app, it says vanilla, orange, and honey. I don't know if I get orange. It is pretty simple. And I don't get orange. I want to say vanilla and honey, but again, those are two things that are often linked up with, or at least vanilla is linked up with bourbons for me. So it feels weird to say for scotch. But yeah, it's there. It's vanilla and kind of a honey texture, or honey, not honey texture, honey taste. But again, I haven't put honey in anything for a while. Lasanta, that's what we're going for. Is one of these Lasanta? I've already forgotten. No. Is that the one I drank all of? It is. Can't remember anything. It's a long wanderer. I also like Lasanta, and that's the reason it's not here, because I drank all of it already. Ow. I hope that didn't sound too horrible. I bagged the mic. Finish profile, supposedly for the Glenmorangie. 10 vanilla, spicy, oak, and honey. Again, I'm not very good with finishes right now. If it's not spicy, I'd say maybe a kind of a dry feeling. I don't know. It's hard to say a finish for me. I've always had a problem with finishes because it's like, what do you taste after you don't taste much of anything? Well, takes a minute to try to figure that one out. I think one of the interesting things about whiskey is that no one really spends time analyzing stuff to the degree that I'm aware of. I mean, probably some people do. I can almost picture people working in the soda industry trying to sip all these different sodas and being like, we must make sure it's perfect. If there's even the slightest change, we'll lose everything. I know with wine, of course, but alcohols in general, you have the moments where you can just sit and be with it. Where beers and other things, I guess it does happen occasionally, but I haven't participated in that, especially with beer. I've had a flight of beer, which is interesting. But usually that's just to drink all of them, not really kind of put my mind on what's different about them. But always alcohol. We live in a strange world. I often think about what it would be like if people spent the same amount of effort and focus, I guess, because it requires a little bit of focus, only a little, on everything they ate every time they ate. Like, what if you had breakfast every day and you actually paid attention to every single bite and every single smell and analyzed it? It would be, it would go cold before you finish it, but it's one of those funny thoughts I have. It's almost like a comic book strip of someone like analyzing the breakfast. It's like, honey, this isn't your whiskey. You don't have to do that. Just eat your food. Yeah, it still burns. I probably said this already, but Glenmorangie is definitely a nice introductory scotch. It's got just enough flavor where a person's like, oh. But it's not aggressive or offensive. It's very welcoming as far as the scotch goes. because a lot of scotches that I've tried, as I was saying earlier, not a fan. Only a few, actually. I shouldn't say a lot. Another one I would say, of course, is like Johnny Walker Black, because that's just everywhere, and that's kind of one of the things I started with. I certainly wouldn't notice at all. But, and again, I don't drink the stuff. I have noticed one thing, which is why I try to tell people, or at least I mention, I've been I don't want to say people have disagreed, but people would say my palate's a little more advanced than I think it is. Because for me, it's just, I'm trying very hard to get something out of this, and it doesn't always feel like it's working. And again, mood is very important when doing this. And my mood can be, let's say, depressed pretty often. So I don't want to say there's self-esteem issues, but it's something. I never want to say I'm an expert in anything. I never want to say I'm any good at anything, because that when you say you're good at something, there's often the chance that you're not, and someone else is probably better at it. I had a point there. I forgot what it was. Oh, with as I've gotten older, I've noticed that things that I used to like, I don't like as much. Specifically, what I'm thinking of at the moment is I bought soda recently, just 2 things of soda. One, I can't finish the whole bottle, like a 20-ounce soda. No way. And it just tastes like a lot of fizz. Although Coke, it's a Coke. It's a Coke, a vanilla cherry Coke. So it's an interesting taste, but it's also very fizzy. And that feels weird to me nowadays. Almost too much. So that's one of those things I've learned over the years is taste change over time. Like I can't be certain I would like these as much if I were 10 years younger. I will never know, of course, because I didn't get into whiskey until about 4 or 5 years ago. There you go. Cinnamon, sugar, alcohol, done. That is one of those things where I'd be interested to see the backstory of it, just to figure out who came up with that madness. I know what how do I put this nicely? They created that product with an intent. And it wasn't something to be analyzed or enjoyed very much. It was just to be used in cocktails, sort of. But their real idea is that it would sell to a younger audience, and they would drink a lot of it because it tasted pretty good. The funny thing is, here's the funny thing. And Shelf Turds, I don't know if you're still in here, but I like to say I dislike Fireball. I just don't like it. It's okay. It's not something I'd want to drink, though. But distinctly in my brain, I have this one product that I remember we had, and it was almost the same thing. And it had a gimmick, and it was called Goldschlager. It had little flecks of gold in it. That was like its thing. And I distinctly seem to remember it was very cinnamon-ish. So I don't know if Goldschlager just decided to change its outlook or anything. I think it's still out there. I haven't seen it. But I remember having that when I was in my college years. That was one of the things you could take a swig of. It had a funny bottle. I think it had a long stem. I don't remember. I'll have to look that up. I haven't seen Goldschlager in years, but I haven't been looking for it. So there's that. Ugh. I hope David's still with me. If I was ever on their channel or anything like that, I don't know how I'd function. I mean, I know, I don't know. It's something it's probably best I don't think about that too much. They come in like a wrecking ball, and I can't deal with like Fireball and really cheap ass beer. I don't like cheap ass beer. I barely drink beer at all anymore, but adding Fireball to that. And I also, as I've said in many of my streams, I'm tentative about drinking too much. I tried very hard not to because of my condition and because of many years. I've done that. I spent plenty of years getting inebriated, and I don't feel like doing that anymore. It's not something I enjoy. I don't like waking up the next day and feeling like crap because I already have trouble getting up as it is. Dealing with life in general is difficult enough for me. I don't need to add more problems to that. If you have a relatively stable life and you like having that, well, I had too much fun last night thing, go for it. But I do not like getting drunk. To be clear, I used to before I got into whiskey. Okay, so it does exist out there. It is still around. Okay. As again, I haven't looked for it. Yeah. But I wonder why that stuff didn't take off like Fireball did. Maybe I think it's probably because of who they were, selling it to originally. But yeah, that's the one I remember, is having a bottle of Goldschlager. I don't think I ever did Jägermeister back then. I think it was Southern Comfort, like 100 proof SoCo and me. We're not friends. I will never drink that again if I don't have to, because I just remember the smell of it, and I got really sick off of it once. Not going back there. No, never. No. Someone could probably pay me a lot to actually drink it, but it would be a lot, like thousands and thousands of dollars. And I don't think anyone would do that. But speaking of that, because I'm not good at my job, if you ever want to donate to the channel, either cash money or get me a bottle or something so I can review it, you can either send the money here, contact me through the emails or the Instagram if you want. Again, I have plenty of whiskey behind me right now, so it's more a matter of having stuff to review in the future. Because I know at some point I'm just going to be like, I don't know, buy the cheapest shit because I can't afford anything else. That sounds pretty bad. I did have a night of Jaeger bombs once, but that was probably well over 10 years ago now. Yeah. I mean, I've done it. And there are occasions where I've had a little too much. And funny enough, it's always when I've been on a stream with other YouTube streamers or whiskey tube streamers, where it's so easy to just, because you're engaged, you're watching what they're doing, and you're live, so you feel like you should be doing something, but you don't realize that suddenly you're taking a sip every 10 minutes or so or less, and by the end of the night, you're just going, what happened? Oh gosh, ow. I think the only time that happened for me was when I was on a big old stream with Whiskey Crusaders, I think. And we're talking like over a year ago, probably. We're talking maybe 2019, maybe. But it was a while ago. I'm not one of those types who gets invited to many other whiskey tube streamers because I'm very low key, we'll say. It does depend on your definition of drunk. I know lately, the funny thing is, and I've said this, I'll say it again because some people haven't heard it. As I got into whiskey, I realized I wanted to drink less and less. I used to drink to the point of being, tipsy at the very least. But once I got into whiskey, I didn't decide, but I found it was easier to drink less than it was to get trashed. Like I will pour, like tonight, I poured all these together. These are going to last me the rest of the evening. I'll be drinking water the whole time. I'm going to have something to eat, right after this. So it's all set. It's all ready to go. Ooh. Before I forget what I'm actually supposed to be doing during a stream, or at least what I decided I was supposed to be doing, I will read off the official notes for the Glenmorangie 10 before I move on to the next one, because I already want to go on to the next one. But it's got a blurb, so I'm going to read that as well. The official overview. The origin is Scotland Highlands, so it's a Highland whiskey. ABV 43%, which is nice to see something over 40%. Single malt Scotch, I should say type single malt Scotch, aged 10 years. Here come the words. I'm not going to do this in a funny accent. Or maybe I will. Can I do a Scottish accent? I don't think so. Because whenever I think of a Scottish accent, I think of Aquavite, and I feel like if I'm trying to imitate him, that might feel like I'm a jerk. That's not what I'm trying to do. I just like Scottish. I like accents in general. But here we go. Gosh, Scottish accent. Hold on. Let my brain think about this for a minute. Glenmorangie Single Highland Malt is Scotland's best-selling malt whiskey. #1 in the UK and #2 premium in the world This delicate taste makes it one of the most palatable and malt whiskies, appealing to novices and connoisseurs alike. I'm going English. The distillers remain one of the smallest, it is English, one of the smallest in the Highland, enjoying just 16 craftsmen, the 16 men a time. Time? Scottish accents are not easy to do, especially when my brain's kind of shifting gears halfway through. It's like, well, Scotland's near Ireland, which is near England, and just mix it all together and no one will know. Ugh. Well, I'm glad you're not doing that anymore, Lone Wander. That seems unhealthy. Ugh. Yeah, that is pretty dangerous if you start mixing stuff together. Yeah, that's as far as I go. Once I feel like there's a certain feeling in my head, I think, that I get in my body. Then as soon as I feel like that, I just go, I should probably drink some water or eat something. Once you get to the buzz stage, you're just like, well, I will feel worse from here on out. But I know one problem for me anyway is they're sure I'll have another. That moment, that's happened to me numerous times, which is, again, part of why I do a dry week, to make sure there's no real issues. Official stuff that I need to read because I'm going to forget. The color of the Glenmorangie G10 is a bright pale amber. Again, these are official overviews. Official nose. It doesn't actually give... This is an interesting way of putting this. The official nose. Imagine yourself in an Italian garden surrounded with mandarin, lemon, apple, pear, and peach. Hey, there we go, pear. Peach trees. They're fruit ripening in the sun. That's the official nose. They didn't tell me strictly notes. They just gave me a visual mental scenario, which I like. And I'm glad it said pear in there because that was bothering me. Official taste, although I think I said pear for one of the other ones. Official taste. Savor the fruits of the Italian garden and as creamy vanilla slips like liquid silk over the tongue as peaches and cream, mandarins, and lemon effervescent in the mouth. This is an official write-up for certain. The official finish. The charming sweetness of delicious juices is left on the tongue and palate, clean and salivating. Salivating? Salivating. What a write-up. Sounds fancy. And I have found that scotches tend to be the fruity slash malt funk, I guess, and flowery is the word. Yeah, there you go. That's another thing. I found that I can, with high proofs, I often just have kind of a limit there. Because smaller pours, higher proof, over a longer course of time. I think what I was doing was drinking beer, and I'd have like 2 beers within an hour kind of thing. That adds up pretty quick. And they have to go to the restroom all the time. Where's the fun in that? Next. Wait, I did this backwards. Next, we have the port finish. So we're going to go over this for a little bit. Oh! I didn't see it. That's actually not bad. Putting a fireball on Angry Orchard. Just makes me think of apple pie. Ugh. What is that? God dang. Shoot. Heck. Darn. YouTube, I'm being careful with what I'm saying. There is a distinct note I'm getting out of this thing that I cannot place at the moment and is bugging me. Because it feels like something I've smelled before. The only mental recollection I can get right now is something with, I think, of an overripe fruit bowl, or as we were talking about earlier, a ripe pear kind of thing. I feel like it's worse than that. I don't know why. This is what's in the videos that people don't see, is where I'm just doing this for 5 to 10 minutes. Realizing I'm recording something and then being like, oh, I'm going to have to edit all that out. Because I said nothing. I said nothing. I was just sitting there smelling. Why? Let's get on the taste of this. Wow. Ow, burning. It's spicier, which is unexpected. But I have to remember it's slightly higher proof. I don't think that's what it is, though. It's like that peppery, I've said like tongue tingle or prickly sensation on my tongue, which I like, but also seems a little creamier, or at least the texture of it's slightly different. It's coating in my mouth. It's dried my tongue out just slightly. I guess that's kind of an oak sensation or a tannin thing. Still haven't placed that strictly. But if my tongue dries out a little, it feels a little weird. Also makes it harder to talk. Ooh, sounds good. Angry Orchard is kind of my default just because it's available and it's nearby, but it's also very sweet. I find the ones I seem to like more are usually like a dry cider, so they're not as sweet, but they're still good. I forget what the one I was thinking about was, but I've had it a couple times, some places. But Angry Orchard, I would say, is a very sweet cider. Still good, but very sweet. I'm getting to the point where I just want to mix these together for funsies soon. I think once I hit the hour mark, if I can actually keep up with this properly. Again, there's no real schedule with this, but I like to say the first hour is just messing with whiskey, or at least talking about whiskey. And then the rest of it is just the hangout part. And again, I do want feedback on doing a stream where, you know, this whole thing would be over here in the corner and I'd be playing a game instead, because I will probably do that next Friday or possibly next Sunday if I can figure out the setup properly. But again, it's one of those things I feel like I should ask people. It feels weird. It's like, I'm going to do this anyway, but just so you know, because I won't be drinking anything. I want some kind of entertainment other than alcohol for those streams. But it's either going to be singing or drinking. We'll see. John, I'm constantly trying to have fun and failing because my brain doesn't like me enjoying things, apparently. But I'm enjoying this. Yes. The funny thing is, you mentioned that, and I'm talking about Dry Week. And the last time I organized all my whiskey, it happened to be Dry Week. So I was interacting with my whiskey at the time, but I wasn't drinking any. I was just moving them and shuffling them around. So now I have a actual setup of some sort. So we have the top shelf here in the back, which these are not top shelf, they're just Scotch. Everything up here is Scotch. Then we have Irish over here. Then we have Japanese is scattered out in between Irish and bourbon. So we have one, you can't even see, where is it? A couple of them over there. There's 1, 2, 3? Three Japanese whiskeys over there. And these are all bourbons and ryes and Americans. And I have a few hidden under here. Oh, and one on the floor. That's the Evan Williams big old bottle I have. I actually mixed, if you want to try something interesting, and if you have the ability to do so, mix the Evan Williams Black with Highland Park double rye, like half and half. Interesting. I did that last night just to try it. Let's get the official notes with this one before I forget what I'm doing, which happens all the time. Actually, the community notes first. Maybe it'll tell me what I'm... So I immediately read this, and I was like, oh, that's probably what it is. Or at least it's the thing that makes the most sense to me. It says the nose... community. Well, first of all, order. We must have order. The average price paid. This officially says $54.81, so we're just going to round up to $55. So if you can find it for $55, apparently that's good. The nose profile for the community here, orange, raisins, port, and then dark chocolate. I do not get any kind of chocolate note out of this, but as soon as I read raisins, I was like, oh yeah, that's probably what that weird funky fruit note is that I don't like. I don't seem to like. And now that I'm going back into it, it almost seems apparent that it smells like raisins, kind of. But I don't like raisins. Again, that's the only thing I really got out of it. It was some kind of fruity thing. I thought it was an overripe fruit, but again, it could be a dried fruit, like a raisin. And I didn't really like the smell. Whoop. Kevin, welcome. Knob Creek 12. Oh, good stuff. Or actually, I'm sold it's good stuff. I'm trying to think if what kind of Knob Creeks I've had. I have a store pick / special bottling back there. I don't know if it's 12 years. I don't think it is. But that's very good. Very different, but very good. And I have a feeling I've never actually had a normal, like a 12-year Knob Creek or something like that. I will have to look. Now I'm curious. I know I've had Knob Creek, and the one thing I don't like about Knob Creek is the plastic bottle and the plastic top. It has the shrapnel wax, as I like to call it. If they had a different way to fix that, I would like it more. Just to open it. But it's definitely shrapnel wax. Thank you, Ben Demon Hunter. It was good to have you. Come back again soon. Again, I'll be back here doing this on Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as well. So it's not like we're going to be gone very long. You can come back and see us now. Or what is it? Hot Butter Roll says, "How's your mama now?" Let's see here. My voice. Again, I haven't been talking to many people. This is like the most I talk all week. Flavor profile for the, I don't even know if I said what I was talking about. The Quinta Rubin 12-year port finish. Sweet orange, dark chocolate, and port. I don't get chocolate. I rarely get chocolate out of bourbons, nonetheless, freaking scotches. And that's on the taste. It does say dark chocolate, so maybe a bitter note I'm talking about, but not for me, it seems. The funny thing is, the video I did about Knob Creek, which is probably well over a year old, I would almost say 2 years. I keep forgetting how long I've been trying to do this. It's been about a year and a half, I think. Because I officially started doing YouTube stuff in September. Like September 1st was when I decided I was going to actually begin things for KIllco. So September 1st of 2019 is when I first started doing things in any earnest way. And I don't remember when I actually did the Knob Creek video. I remember I didn't really like it at first, but I have a feeling I was just getting used to higher proof stuff at the time. Or maybe it was just the type of bottle I didn't like at the time, because that can influence if you like something. If you have shrapnel on top of it, and makes a mess everywhere. But I think it was the taste of it I didn't particularly like at first. I like it now. Like the Knob Creek I have back here from It's Bourbon Night. Wonderful. But also very unlike any other bourbons I've had. And a part of that is probably because it's 60% / 120 proof. That has a lot to do with it, I think. That's the thing, though. They can't learn a lesson from Maker's Mark, because Maker's Mark is they're strict about that wax drippings in the red. But if they had a softer wax, that would certainly be ideal. Just like put the tip of it in and just, make sure it doesn't drip, because that's really all they're worried about is dripping. The finish of this port finish thing, Glenmorangie, just says orange, spicy, oak, and port. Again, port doesn't tell me anything because I'm not even sure what port is like. I don't remember if I've ever had port. I probably have. But the one thing I remember about wines for me is that I didn't particularly like red wines. And I'm fairly certain port is a red wine. Fairly certain. That's part of why they have that raisin note in here. No, I don't get any dark chocolate out of this. It's just kind of like the first one, except for that raisin note, I guess. It is a nice taste, though. I won't say I dislike it. I certainly did seem to like the sherry more because, again, that's the one I drank all of it. I don't even remember why. I think just because it was one of those things that was annoying me. I still had it. Oh, man. I feel like I have to do a bunch of Knob Creek stuff. What I want to do, an emphasis on want to do, for Sunday, because Sunday is the holiday that I don't like because I've been single too long. And I have a feeling a lot of people don't particularly like that holiday. But Sunday is the 14th, and if you know what it's like in America, you're seeing a lot of pink things and red things and flowers and chocolates everywhere you go. And cards. Ugh. But the one thing I know I like, and it's what I did a review of this past week, is the Four Roses. I like the Four Roses single barrel. And I can show you. I show you. You see. I bought this a while ago, but it's already here. And I did the review a few days ago. So I've already got a fourth of this almost gone. And what I want to do is compare this to other Four Roses, because I realized when I had this again, one, I like to buy this every year. I didn't think I would have a chance to this year, but I did. Two, I haven't had their other stuff. I only have tried this, and I know I like it. But I haven't had their cheaper stuff, and I haven't had their more expensive stuff. And that's kind of what I want to do for Sunday, but that requires me to go buy whiskey, and I have a lot already, and it costs money I don't have. That's the PayPal link. But I think it would cost a total. Where's my thing? I like to have this thing up so I can look at stuff. Let's type in Four Roses. So nearby, these are the options I can get. Showing me some other random stuff for some reason. No. It says limited quantities for some reason. That's weird. Oh, it's showing me the wrong store. That's part of the problem. Why is it showing me that store? I don't live near that store. Rawr. I is confused. I don't understand why this is like this all of a sudden. Oh, that's why I'm looking at the wrong thing. Ha! I was looking at Total Wine instead of the place that's right next door to me. Yeah. That would do it. And there we go. I had it up already. Good. So there are a few Four Roses I could try. There's the Single Barrel, which I have. Then there is the Four Roses Small Batch, which I feel like I had once, but I don't remember. And that one's $28.99, so $30-ish. And then they have this Four Roses Small Batch Select Bourbon, which is twice the cost. And that's $60 for that, or $59.99. And then they have the Four Roses Tan Label, which is the one I'm looking at the most, which is $18. And again, I might have had the Four Roses Small Batch once, but I don't remember it. And that's possibly that's what got me interested in Four Roses to begin with, was the small batch. But the idea that I had was that I wanted to get those three. So the small batch select, and the tan. And then I had the single barrel, so I'd have four Roses for Sunday. But I also realized how much all that was, and then went, oh, that's not going to happen. Unless I somehow make, 60, 70, 80, 90, over $100 tonight. That is not going to happen. But I may get one of them. I may try the small batch. I think I'd go with, even though it's almost $30. And maybe I'd buy the Four Roses Tan Label as well. But it's that freaking small batch select that I don't understand why it costs so much. I know it's a higher proof. What is it? 52? Yeah, 52%. Cost $60. The single barrel was $45. So how the heck this is worth $15 more, I don't know. And again, we're very keen on saying that cost does not equal quality here. There are plenty of bourbons out there that you can buy for much cheaper prices that are just fine. Just fine. Getting off track. Thinking about what I'm doing in the future. Think about what I'm doing now, shall we? Port is the stout of red wines. Dark, heavy, and rich. Yeah, that's the thing. I don't like red wines. That's the thing that bugs me. As far as going into a scotch, though, it seems fine. I will read the thing, do the thing for the port. Same deal, mostly. So the official overview is Scotland Highlands. You know that already. ABV 46%, single malt scotch, 12 years. The darkest and most intense whiskey in the extra malted range, Glenmorangie Quinta Reuben has spent 10 years maturing in American white oak casks before being transferred into specially selected ruby port from the Quinta wine estate of Portugal. Oh, so it's Portugal ports. The color officially is rose pink. I didn't do the color with any of these because that takes a little effort. And also lighting. You know what? I think it does have a pink thing, like a pink thread going through it. I didn't see that before. Vaguely. And again, I've certainly been influenced by what I just read. But I would not call it rose pink. I would call rose pink would be, well, a rosé wine. That's what I think of immediately. Official nose. Again, dark mint chocolate, tangerines, and Savelli orange mingled with sandalwood and walnuts before giving way to spicy finish of pepper and nutmeg, mandarin oranges, and Belgian chocolate mint crisp. It said the same thing twice. Mint chocolate. Dark mint chocolate. I can get the mint, kind of. Again, chocolate's... What? Tangerines I could understand because there's a citrus note in this, I think. But again, I don't remember the last time I had a tangerine. Or an orange, for that matter. Sandalwood and walnut. Sandalwood, I have a pretty good smell in my head for that, but that's just because of sandalwood incense, I think. Maybe? Again, I feel like I'm being influenced. Anyway, official taste. Saying the same thing over again. Mint chocolate and walnuts envelop the palate like velvet layers, the foundation for rose. Layering the foundation for rose. Turkish delight and sweet salvia oranges. Selville? What? I don't know what a Selville orange is. I've never had Turkish delight. I'm aware of the fact that it is given to small children by snow witches, I think. That's about all I got for that. I'm not even certain what Turkish delight is. I feel like it's candy, but it could be something completely different. I have no idea. Spicy. Ah. Official finish, long-lasting, silky aftertaste, leaving dark chocolate mint and traces of orange. It said the same thing 3 times. I can understand mint and orange, but no chocolate. Not for me. I get more of the peppery spiciness out of this, which I like. But again, I'm fairly certain once more that I like the sherry one. Like I should probably see if I can find a bottle of Glisanta. But I don't know how much that is. But it certainly seems like a Glenmorangie I liked. Again, magnets. That's how fancy this box is. Let us move on to our third whiskey, and then we'll mix these all together and see what happens. Because that's fun. At least I think it's fun. Some people think that's sacrilege. Let us go into the smell again and the taste. Whoa. Oof. Whoa. You get a very interesting smell out of this when you have a glass covered for a bit. I feel like I'm getting more of the wine smell out of that now. And it feels like it smells like a white wine to me. A little bit. I don't know why I thought white wine, but that's what my nose memory decided to tell me. $60. Again, being the unemployed individual that I am, anything over, technically anything over $25 makes me cringe. So there's that. It's like, oh. Even buying my $40 wild turkey handle every once in a while, I feel bad about it. I like it. It lasts for months, but I feel bad spending $40 on anything. Because once again, I will say that I think of buying one bottle of $60 scotch, I could buy 2 bottles of wild turkey. Or, let's see, 50. So yeah, 2. And that'll be a little more than that. So a bottle of wild turkey for me is $25, but that'd be $50 for 2 bottles. Or if I bought just a handle, which is $40, which is the sensible thing to do as far as I'm concerned. Just buy a whole handle. It's fine. You'll have more of it. Oh. That's funny. I was just talking about how I smell white wine on this. And I glanced over at what the community notes are, and guess what one of the nose profiles is? And I swear I didn't see this. I wasn't even thinking about it. Caramel, honey, wine, vanilla. I didn't see any of those other things, but the wine on this is nuts. Nuts. Average price paid of this one. Hey, baha. Speaking a different language there all of a sudden. The Nectador is apparently around $67.53. Round that up to $70. Round that up a little more because tariffs are a thing and prices are a little weird right now. So let's go into the flavor, because the nose on this is definitely wine to me. But what else? I'm not getting caramel, honey, or vanilla. It's bothering me. I can't get around the wine. Again, I could sit here for a very long time doing this. Whatever. Flavor profile for the community notes. I should probably drink it first, and I already looked, so. It's sweeter than the port. Oh, it's nice. I think out of the 3, this is the one I like the best. I can already say, though, I like the sherry one more. But again, that's because it's gone. I drank all of it. But this one's a very sweet scotch, per the notes here, which I already looked at. So one of the things it says, honey, orange, sweet, vanilla, caramel. All things I kind of like. I don't get orange on the taste anyway. But maybe vanilla. And honey, I'm not sure. Caramel, I'm not sure. Definitely sweet. That's very nice. If you like sweet scotches, this is going to be just for you. If you like spending $70 on a bottle that you've never had before, I say buy the sample box. Figure it out for yourself. Finish on this, supposedly. See, I said pepper for the other one, or at least spicy for the other one. And I don't get that on the finish of this. It just says oak, spicy, pepper, sweet, and honey. I don't know why. I like, but I don't understand. Very sweet on the nose. Ow. No, the joys of drinking whiskey. Wow. I don't know why I like doing that so much. I would say oak on the finish and a little peppery. It's doing the tongue tingle. But again, I just kept a little bit in my mouth and kept it on my tongue. It tends to give it a little bit of liveliness. And as I said, it's because I'm convinced I have problems with tastings, which is part of why I do tastings to begin with. And also why I use this stuff just to help me along. It feels like training wheels. The official notes for this, and who knows what accent I will do this time, if any. Again, the origin of this is Scotland Highlands, ABV 46%, single malt Scotch, aged 12 years. The Nectar d'Or has been extra matured and hand-selected Sauterne wine, Barriques, Barriques, Sauterne wine barracks after a minimum of 10 years in bourbon casks. Oh, bourbon casks. That's why it's so damn sweet. I would explain a few things. Color, honey. Honey is not a color. That's a thing. But would you agree this is honey colored? Maybe. Maybe not. It does seem a little darker. I've seen bourbons that look like this. So, up to you, the viewer. Official nose, lime and orange rind, salt hands and dates, giving rich fruity flavors laced with tantalizing spices of coconut and nutmeg. Are you serious? Coconut? And nutmeg. What? No, not for me. Coconut as a note for me is distinctly because of Daniel Whittington deciding to say an entire story about how he got coconut smell out of Green Spot. And the sense memory for him is when he was a child on a beach and he had like coconut sunscreen on him or something. And as soon as he, told that story and put that idea in my head, now I smell coconut on Green Spot. I don't think I smell it in this. Pretty sure I don't. But now that I'm talking about it, I'm starting to worry. Official taste. Ginger. There is ginger, nutmeg, and toasted almonds. Bring a deep, warming taste interwoven with a syrup lemon meringue and honeycomb middle. Well, they're pushing the honey note here. Unsurprisingly. Because again, this is set up to make you think of honey. It's good. I like. I'm going to mix these all together. That's going to be the fun part. The official finish, long and lusciously sweet, finished with lemon zest, white chocolate, vanilla, and traces of ginger and nutmeg. You said that already. But okay. And you'll note ginger and nutmeg were not mentioned in the community notes at all. Spicy was, so who knows? I don't get nutmeg or ginger, but I'm also having to think about when I had ginger last. And that immediately makes me think about when I had sushi last, which makes me think the last time I was at a Chinese restaurant of any sort or a sushi joint, well over a year ago, if that. Whatever. Let's not dwell on the past too much. Let's mix these all together. Because why not? And again, we're mixing 246s with a 10-year. See what happens. Oh my goodness. Welcome. Lunaire. Yeah, we're live. We've been live for about an hour. About an hour. We got 40 more minutes to go-ish. The thing is, you're going to mix, you're going to miss a bunch of people go live on Friday. But for you, that would be ridiculously late at night. So I can understand why you wouldn't do that. There's a couple other things going on right now. When I think about it, I think, I got to double check. Again, I'm pretty bad at remembering things. So one thing I have to remember for myself is that I have to look up a video and tag it on this stream later. I probably will forget to do that. One thing I will mention is the Vlog Brothers are live right now for their Project for Awesome. It's like a charity drive. So if you want to look at something after this, other than whiskey, there's the Project for Awesome, which is going on for like 24 hours, I think. And it's a charity drive, and it's, you know, charity. Oh. That's all I really know about it. I am drumming. We have a sample box here. I drank one of them already. But we have the Glenmorangie 10, little sample bottles. We have the Glenmorangie Quinta Reuben port cask finish. And we have the Glenmorangie or Glenmorangie, however you want to say it, Nectador, which is a Sauterne finished. Aged 12 years. Lovely stuff. You can always watch this on the replay whenever that gets put out there. But now I'm going to mix them all together like a mad scientist. Yes, good. And then I'm also going to see how much I'm drinking, which is very important because, oh yeah, that's a substantial amount of whiskey there, and I already drank most of it. I show you in a second. Don't worry. No worry for you. I show you. Why I speak like this, I don't know. Ding. Didn't mean to do that. But mixing all those together does this. That is at least 3 ounces or more. The 12 year, Luna. I think. Hang on. Yeah, 12 year. It's good, but it seems like I was leaning towards the Nectador. And again, the one that is missing at the moment, which I really did enjoy because it's all gone and I drank it, was the La Santa. But we found out the La Santa costs about $60 or something like that, which I don't have. That's why PayPal thing is there. That's what you have to do as a whiskey tuber until you actually have the 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours, which the YouTube overlords demand before they will let you give, before they will allow you to have people give you money so they can take some of that money. That feels like one of those things they'd want to do a lot earlier. It's like, oh, you have 100 subscribers. Sure, you can do super chats. If people are giving you money, why not? We'll take a part of that, certainly. That is more than a decent dram. That is what's going to last me the rest of the night, probably. We went over the flavors and everything. We were talking about Four Roses earlier, too, because I'm thinking of doing a roses stream on Sunday, because Sunday is that dreadful holiday that people are so fond of. I say it's a dreadful holiday because, one, I've been single for a really long time, and two, I worry about any holiday coming up at all because of how we have the situation we're all in at the moment in the world, and how a lot of people are going to be like, you know what, I'm going to go out and have a wonderful dinner with my significant other, and just, no, do that, please. Make something at home where it's safe. As much as I like doing a takeout at restaurants, it's just, not this year, please. Let us get through this. Yeah. YouTube wants their 30%. I figured they would want to do that earlier, but I want to, again, well, I'm no good at math. I'm terrible at math. But when I think about the fact that they go, all right, you need 1,000 subscribers, they want you to have enough people so that they can take 30%. I feel like that's what it is. And through this link below, they don't take anything. It all goes to me / me making more content in the future. It's glorious. Yeah, I forgot about that. Mardi Gras as well. That's another thing. I can't. Granted, as I've mentioned in many videos and streams I've done, I am a bit of a recluse as it is, and going places and being around lots of people has always bothered me to some extent. It is so uncomfortable to go out anywhere now. Like, I can't go to a restaurant. If there is even anyone there, I get uncomfortable. And I feel bad because I want restaurants to be successful and be there all the time, but as soon as there are more than a few people around me, I get so tense I have to leave. And I miss doing things. Like, one of the things I was doing and enjoying. And it was kind of like my Instagram thing for a while was food pictures and whiskey pictures. So I would go to a bar, sit at the bar, order some food, have a whiskey, and drink the damn whiskey. Remember that? Drinking whiskey at bars? Oh, it was lovely. It was one of the best ways to try different things without having to buy a whole bottle of it. Like if I had tried a Dalmore or Macallan 12 at a bar, one, I don't know how much that would have cost, but it certainly would have cost less than a whole bottle. And then I wouldn't have a whole bottle sitting behind me just taking up space. There is a slot behind the Dalmore, which you can't see. I did finish off my Highland Park 12, and I feel a little bad because it was pretty good. Although it tasted different when I got down to the end of it. I don't know if I liked it as much. But I should probably get another one of these days. Highland Park 12 is pretty damn good stuff. Yeah, I feel like there is the sensible part of the world is kind of like, you know what? It's fine not to go anywhere for a little while. We'll just wait until things get a little more stabilized. And then there's the rest of the people like, I don't want to wait to do anything. I'm going where I want, doing what I want. Freedom, America, that kind of thing. It's like, oh, come on, man. You're not helping anything. Americans are very, how do I put this politely? I don't know. I don't want to dive into the American culture because once I start doing that, people are going to start getting angry at me or at least disagreeing with me because America likes to say, or at least there's the phrase, of America being one of the greatest nations in the world and blah, 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 blah. And my brain goes to the fact that we are one of the younger nations in the world. It's like 200-ish years old, something like that. Yeah, let me ask Google. Google will tell me things. I feel like that's where things get confused is people think we're the newest and we have all kinds of advantages and stuff, but we're also one of the younger nations. So there's that. Keep that in mind. Yeah. America is 243 years old. That sounds like a long time, and it certainly is. But as far as the rest of the world is concerned, we are very young. So let me go. How old is England? Doesn't tell me right away. God dang it. It's certainly old because it doesn't tell me right away. When was it established? Give me a year. Dang it. Well, you can look it up. Figure it out for yourself. (1871) for Germany. There has been a lot of splitting offs and stuff. I'm bad with history as well, by the way. I already blah blah. Yeah. There's a whole bunch of different things out there right now. Yeah, my point is there's a lot of places all over the globe that are a lot older than this country that I'm in. But yes, Lone Wanderer, it's one of those where I think it gets extreme to some extent when people just don't want to follow the rules. And the government, in this situation, the government has to say something. They have to be like, all right, these are the rules because the whole freaking world is in trouble and things are bad. And there's no way to get control over everything because as much as I like to say the United States are united, it's really just 50 different places that have their opinions and their laws. And the only reason I say that is because of how apparent that became to me once I found out more about liquor industries in America. Like one of the big problems facing all of the states right now is that they all have different liquor laws because they all make up their own rules because the government decided to say Prohibition is done, but you figure it out. You figure out what you want to do with your liquor laws now. Wow. And it made a mess. It's a mess. It's a mess. That's why you can't have liquor shipped to your door very easily. Some places will allow it. Some people won't. Some places are dry. It's nuts. Yeah. There's also, we go into the other fact that America is a pretty new country still overall, less than 250 years. And then you have places with so many more people as well. China, India, Russia. Good gosh, Russia has a lot of space. I don't know how many people they have, but there's that kind of thing. There's a whole different kind of madness in other parts of the world. And Japan, I think Japan has probably been around for a very long time, but it's also a big old island, so everyone's kind of crammed into the same spot. I don't know much about anything, to be honest, but it does seem like there's... What I usually get into at this point is I start to think about the fact that we have so many people on the planet, so much industry and technology, and yet for whatever reason, we're still floundering with, people's health, people's ability to, homelessness, I should probably say, drug use and overdoses. It gets complicated. We don't want to think about that too much. Again, this is mostly just to chill out and have a drink, but when I start to drink, I start to ruminate, and ruminating is not a healthy thing for me to do, but it happens a lot. Yes, that has been a problem. But also, the one thing I keep coming up on with my own personal problems, first of all, keep in mind, I am mentally disabled officially. The government says so. They send me money each month just so I can survive. The amount they send is not livable. Like, if I didn't have help from my parents and help from this down here, I don't know what I'd do, because the cost of living is so extreme. And they want you to spend 40 hours a week, at least, minimum, working someplace that isn't your home, just so you can have a home to go to, which doesn't make sense to me. You spend a good chunk of every day going someplace else, doing work for someone else who gives you kind of a pittance of what they actually make, and you're supposed to be okay with that. I mean, this is why I like doing this, is because it's working from home, technically. I don't make an actual income, but people have donated to the channel, which is incredible and mind-boggling. And that feels like the best thing to do, is just to work for yourself somehow. That's what I prefer to do, but again, that's not how everything works right now. You always have to work for someone else or be horribly in debt to have your own business. That's how I understand it. I could be wrong. Oh, that must be fun. There's 400 people over here? No, something else. Yeah, here's the problem. My education of Japan comes from anime. So the most history I know is from that, which is probably not great. Samurais are pretty awesome. Oh, yeah. I mean, personally, I don't think people should have to work a lot. I'm one of those people who's a proponent of letting people live. That's the problem I have right now, is with the way things have just evolved over time, we're living in a beginning of technological age, and people are still trying to force people to do stuff from like the industrial age. Like, you have to go to work and work there at this other place. And what this whole situation we're in now, the pandemic and everything, has made it very apparent that a lot of people can work from home. I mean, you don't have to go to work. You don't have to go someplace else. You don't have to spend that money to go somewhere else like you thought you had to. I mean, in the type of job I had before I was disabled, I would have to have gone to work anyway because it was factory work, menial labor-ish, but something. Ouch. But it wasn't fun. I didn't like it. And I think it was part of what caused my mental state to deteriorate, we'll say. It wasn't good. It's very stressful. Ugh. Let's see what this mix is like, shall we? Funny enough, it smells like the Glenmorangie 10. Also tastes like the Glenmorangie 10. A little spicier. Funny enough, it doesn't taste as textured, though. David, welcome. We're talking the talk. On the menu, we have had Glenmorangie 10, Glenmorangie Quinta Reuben port finish, and the Glenmorangie Nectar d'Or, which is Sauterne finish. I've mixed them all together in this glass. And it's kind of interesting. It kind of muted all of them, but it's good. It's interesting. Oh, no, we can talk anything. Yeah, I try not to dive too much into politics because, again, I try to be a global state of mind. And politics is such a it's one thing that can make or break people. For me, and I think this was talked about briefly on who the heck was I watching recently? Bourbon Junkies. They had a guest on, and after 2 hours of drinking, they started talking about kind of that fine line of politics, sort of, where they weren't talking about politics, but they kind of were and they kind of won't. I tried to skirt that line as much as I can because it's the idea. One, I'm very, very, very aware of what a privileged position I'm in, where I can just sit here and complain, where there are people whose lives are affected by the politics that are going on right now. Like their very existence is being threatened by the type of things that are happening in the world. Where I'm kind of surviving as best I can, but I'm also surviving pretty well off. I mean, look at all that. Look at the fact that I can even do this. That's kind of the state of mind I have to keep things at. I have no right to really get political or get angry because I'm in the comfortable position that I'm in. Granted, I also am not making any money, so that's a problem. And part of why I do this, but again, there are people out there. The funny thing about WhizzkyTube is there are people who are so well off and they get so much money through their streams, which is glorious because they put a lot of effort into it. But they also have day jobs. And I make it very clear when I'm doing these is that I'm mostly just trying to exist comfortably and safely with my brain being as weird as it is. It's hard to tell people. It's like one of the problems you have to deal with on a daily basis is getting out of bed. Most people think, oh, getting out of bed, yeah, that kind of sucks. I hate getting up in the morning, but there are times when you're stuck in bed and you're not going to get out of bed anytime soon. You're just staring at your phone sometimes, and wondering why you're awake and drifting off back to sleep occasionally. It's great. It's thrilling. It happened to me today, as a matter of fact, where I woke up after maybe 6 hours of sleep and was kind of awake for a couple hours and then fell back asleep again. I did get a few things done today. That's where I have to keep things. I was at least a little productive for myself. Real honey. I have one of these. Yeah, it is. And here's the main thing I talk about with kind of skirting the political line is I'm willing to talk about some things, but I'm not willing to people get angry and get, not violent. But people can get very cruel, as soon as you disagree with them. Like I said, this was something that was mentioned on the last stream with Bourbon Junkies when they were talking about stuff, which was interesting because usually that doesn't happen on those big streams. But like they have 400 something odd people or more in there every time they stream, which is bonkers. But again, this isn't really, it's not that this isn't a place for politics. It's usually, how do I say this easily? Part of this idea is that we're able to talk about ourselves and our experiences openly. But because there's so much going on right now that's just abrasive and it's a weight. Like every day I wake up, I'm exposed to politics and news and just, you know, what horrible things have happened today kind of thing. And that's what I try to get away from here because I have enough of that to worry about in my own head. Like my own depression and my own mental illness is a constant struggle, and I don't want to struggle here. I just want to have a safe environment, I say, or a enjoyable experience, if nothing else. We're all here just to kind of enjoy each other's company. That's the good way to put it. Whether we agree or disagree on things. There are certain extremes that I will get, you know, I'll kind of lay down the hammer, but that hasn't happened yet. I haven't had to worry about it, thankfully. Thankfully. I hope I never do, but again, there are plenty of things in my brain that make me afraid of any kind of success with this channel. But that's not going to stop me. Again, I have been doing this for over a year now. It's lovely. The streams are wonderful. And hopefully they're just going to improve over time. Again, a lot of it, I feel like I don't know what I'm doing, but hey, that's part of the fun. Yeah. Part of the idea, at least in my head, is throughout the ages, you know, drinking, having a drink and talking about things has been kind of the stuff that we've done over the course of the few, you know, 1,000 years or more. There was always a situation where people would be together having a drink and talking about stuff. And I think that kind of got twisted as time has gone on. Is there became a point where people are like, no, you shouldn't talk politics, which I understand because politics nowadays is kind of like that. You're either on one side or the other, and it's just anger and butting heads and frustration and just, And it should be more of instead of being political, it should be opinion. And one of the good things about being in the whiskey world and being with whiskey people is that there is an understanding that you can like something. Like you can enjoy whiskey, and I cannot enjoy that whiskey because we're two different types of people. We're two different people. We have different tastes, you know? We can disagree on something because we both live different kinds of lives. We both have different experiences. We both have different taste buds in this scenario. But yeah. Scott Moody, welcome. Cheers to you. I'm trying to keep an eye on the clock. Well, everything's starting to wind down. Yeah, it's gotten overwhelming. I mean, raw. And I think part of it is just because the one thing to keep in mind, and again, I try to look at everything from a global perspective. And over the course of my life in general, in most of our lives, it has gotten bonkers because of the technological advancements that have happened since I was, 10. From the age of 10 to now, which is only 30 years, technology and intercommunications and information has just ramped up to the point where it's impossible to deal with. I think that's kind of a key component of why things have gotten kind of is because in a time before technology was so advanced, I'm not saying technology is bad, we wouldn't be having this conversation without technology. But there was a phase in people's lives where the community they were in and the people they dealt with, personally, was the community, the people they had to deal with face to face. That's how it was. Occasionally you'd make a phone call. And, the most that was happening was watching television and seeing the famous people on the telly. That's how it was. But since everything has gotten so intertangled, so like all the time, it's hard to step away from. Like, I have trouble doing it. But it's also a good thing because I have the whiskey community online, which I wouldn't have had less than 10 years ago, probably. I mean, I really do like wild turkey, so that's never going to be a problem. And the good thing is, here's the thing, Barn Door. If someone says they don't like wild turkey, that means there's more wild turkey for you. Don't tell. Yes. The funny thing is, Scott, is that over the course of the past year, I have gotten to try more whiskey in general just because I've been doing more YouTube stuff and more content, more streaming. And people have been sending me or hand delivering stuff to me. So I've been able to try more whiskeys in the past year than I've tried in the past 3 or 4 years, which is lovely. Rare breed is so good. I miss having rare breed. That's expensive stuff. Ooh. Yeah. Again, that's another one of those points. As with the Whiskey Tribe, as something I try to tout because it makes sense to me. The whiskey you like is the whiskey you like to drink the way you like to drink it. I think it's kind of the general feeling. And I feel like that can easily translate to dealing with another person. Is if you don't like what I like, that's fine. Go you, live your life. As long as you're not hurting anyone else, as long as you're not hating anyone else and making them feel like shit. It's fine. Just kind of live your life. You only get this one that I'm aware of. So, try not to make other people miserable. Try to lift people up rather than put them down, is the way I like to think of it. I put myself down plenty without anyone's help. So I try not to do that. I definitely get agitated by people a lot. I'm certainly one of those people who gets very frustrated when I see someone not use a turn signal or cut me off or just, the road rage is real. But other than that, I do have an aversion to people overall. That's just my thing. It's how I am, how I'm wired. Don't make me think of wild turkey right now. I don't have any. Makes me sad. I could probably still go buy some, but I'm fairly certain the place closes at 8, so that's not going to happen. Oh, there you go. Yeah, I have bottled and bond over here. You probably see it. Well, once I move that text, anyway. Funny enough, I didn't like Evan Williams for a little bit because I was putting it over ice, and I realized that just made it taste like Evan Williams Black Label, which is okay, but I think it's a little more oak tannin-y for me once it's watered down to that degree. Blue corn. I missed something. That's all right. Rare bead is pretty glorious, but I'm pretty sure it's really expensive on the other side of the pond, as it were. I know for me, I can maybe find it for $50 if I'm lucky. I would like to say Wild Turkey 101 is an introductory bourbon, but I wouldn't give that to someone right away just because of the proof. I would probably... What would I want to give a person as their first bourbon that wasn't Wild Turkey? I honestly wouldn't want to give them the lower proof stuff, so I'm trying to think. It'd have to be like a 43 or 45%. Now I'm curious. Maybe Evan Williams Black? I don't know. I don't think I'd want to give someone that as a first thing because I don't really like it that much. It's okay. It'll do the job, but as a sipper, I don't think I'd like it as much. I like the bottle and bond. Right there. Good night, Luna. Lovely having you. Glad you got to stop by. I'll be here again on Sunday. And if you want to be here earlier, it's 6 p.m. Eastern time, which is like 2 hours earlier if you want to show up. What I'm going to do that Sunday is still debatable. Figure it out when I get there. This is a little spicier now. I like it, though. It's not very complicated, surprisingly. I think mixing 3 of these together would get kind of weird, but thankfully, it's fine. It's drinkable. It's enjoyable. And it's going to last me the rest of the night, so that'll be lovely. Ugh. I think I've had Evan Williams single barrel a while ago. I have a feeling I did a video of it, but it's one of the problems with being a whiskey tuber is you review stuff and then you forget what you reviewed. And then you realize you have to actually try to go back to see what you reviewed. And then you start to realize how many videos you made. Then you feel a little weird. Like, I don't know how many videos I've made. I feel like I've made 100, but I'm not sure. I will check now. How many videos are on this channel? Because I have no idea. By the way, we're at 280 plus subscribers right now, climbing towards 300. If you know someone who hasn't subscribed who might be interested in whiskey, tell them to, even if they don't like my face. I just need subscribers. It's one of those annoying things about YouTube. You need a lot of subscribers, and that has to do with the people watching and the people interested. I can't force anyone to watch this / subscribe here, so let's see. It doesn't tell me the number. How many is it? How many? It just says videos. Oh, there's a play all option. I didn't know that. If you want to help me out, just put play all on and walk away. I don't really have any recommendations other than, remember to click on people's text, because one, it makes it easier for you to read. And then always remember to do this. So once you're done reading it, it's not in front of your face anymore. But other than that, I find it fairly easy to use. You can do the scrolling text if you want people to give you money. Sometimes they do. It's lovely. Prick out your theme. You can here, watch. I'll do it. We have bubble theme, minimal theme, and all it does is just change. Wrong side. Change your name. Default. I like the block. Just a little smaller. The logo is going to be there unless you pay them. You can pick your brand color. Mine, and unsurprisingly, is 7/7. I can have an overlay. Isn't that annoying? In the background. You have to pay for it, and I'm definitely not going to do that anytime soon. If you want anything fancy, like I could have my logo up there instead of SteamYard, but I don't use it enough. I use it less than the minimum they want you to pay for. Like at the end of the month, they'll tell me I'm running out of time, but I never go over it. I haven't yet. So, wow. Although I may do a stream on, next week, which is dry week again, as I mentioned. So Friday and Sunday will be different. I may use OBS for that because I'm trying to get into that. I know there's some way to do it so that if someone does donate to the PayPal thing, like, with Trev's channel, I don't know if you probably don't watch him, but there's like an exploding thing and it shows the amount and the words. It's nice to be able to let people know when there's a donation because I feel bad if I miss it. Hey, if anyone donated tonight, thank you. If you didn't, that's fine. I don't expect to make money on this, but it's nice to have it happen. Oh, we're coming up at the end of the night. Why? It's just began. We only just started talking to each other. Pretzels, by the way. Is there a hype for Williams single barrel? Maybe. Let me check. I feel like I can get that nearby. Like I said, that Four Roses sounds very tempting. But again, just the fact that there's one bottle of $60 immediately cuts me off at the knees for buying it, probably. Hello. No. Yeah, it had Evan Williams honey. Nope. I feel like there's a number that I'm looking for. There's 1783. I've had that before. For whatever reason, that isn't showing up if I look up Evan Williams at the store I'm looking at. Is that the single barrel we're talking about, or is that something else? That's what I was thinking of. And I feel like that one's going away. I don't know why. No. I don't know what the heck 1783 is, but I know it's pretty good. I don't even know if I've had the single barrel of Evan Williams yet. I'm curious now. But again, the store I go to doesn't seem to have it. They're out of stock anyway. No wonder it wasn't showing up. Evan Williams 1783 isn't there. Bah. Whatever. Co-op, I feel like I would do that with that whiskey tasted different after having a salty pretzel. It was good. But I feel like I might do that with Four Roses, but I don't have the willpower to keep a Four Roses single barrel. I have to drink them. I want them. Just this one, which I've had for a few days. I've already drank like a fourth of it almost. So it's probably not going to last until next month, maybe, but we'll see. Again, I might be getting more Four Roses soon. But, I'm not promising anything. I might go to the liquor store, but I don't know how I'm going to feel tomorrow. So we'll see. We are coming to the end of the stream. There are other people going live soon. I think Co-op's going live after me. I feel like he is. I think Trev Wilson's also going live at some point soon, probably after me. And then ADHD Whiskey is going live at 10 o'clock tonight. I can't keep track of everything. But there are a bunch of people going live. Plenty of people to hang out and drink with. And again, there's the Project for Awesome going on, which is a Blog Brothers thing. They get lots of money every year to donate to charities. So if you're into that kind of thing, you can look at that as well. They will be going on for the next 24 hours-ish, I guess. They just started today, so we'll see. But yeah. It's not showing me anything. I should be getting pop-ups and warnings and everything. Why? Bah, I say. Yes, Co-op's going live in 4 minutes. Or 3 minutes. 4 minutes. 3 minutes. Soon. So you can go over there. He's new to the streaming thing, but it's so easy. And he has so much more whiskey than I do. He might like Elijah Craig. Just a little bit. I realized I haven't opened Discord today. I have no idea what's going on. But I will grab some food after this. I don't know what I'm going to eat. I've only had like one thing today. I've officially had a cinnamon bun and a latte. And that's all. That's why I'm being very careful with how much of this I'm drinking. I'm drinking it very slowly. But I will probably... Oh, you know what? I bought something earlier at the grocery store. I'll put that in the oven. That sounds pretty good. It's like chicken, rice, tomato-y thing. It's really good. But I will cut it off at the 49-minute mark, or just coming up on that now. I will be going live again Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. If you want to come back, please do. Tell your friends, tell your family. Bring some whiskey. As always, till next time, live long and prosper. Don't forget to be awesome. And sláinte.